Hello, you're listening to the Career Changemaker podcast. Having the courage to leave a career that you have worked hard to build and try something else can be tough. So in each episode, we dive into key career change strategies so that you have a clear understanding of what is required to transition into a new role or a new industry without feeling like you have to start at the bottom or have to take a massive pay cut. Because ain't nobody got time for that. If you are ready for frank and honest discussions about how to become a career change maker, keep listening. I'm your host, lawyer turned career strategist and executive coach, Janine Esbrand. Hello, and welcome to the show. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you some key takeaways that I gleaned from a conference that I recently attended. I think these 3 things are going to be helpful for you to consider and keep top of mind as you transition. That's whether you are planning your career transition, whether you're in the midst of it right now, or you are just coming off the back of it. I think these are going to be helpful for you. As you will know, if you listened to the last episode, I was in Ibiza on a family holiday recording beachside. If you didn't listen to that episode, go and head back because I shared some reflections around what happens when you change your environment. And I want to follow on from that a little bit today as I talk about this trip to the conference. So give you the backstory. I went to Atlanta in the US to attend a conference called Women Consulting Live that was hosted by an amazing person called Liz J. Simpson. If you don't know of her, I recommend you follow her. Her focus is really supporting women with serving the corporate market with their skills, their expertise, their services. And so I went to this conference so I could learn more about doing more on that side of things. So I have been serving organizations alongside serving individuals for a while now. And it's something that I'm looking to double down on. So I was like, hey, let me go to this conference and see what I can learn. When I tell you, I was not disappointed. The way they pulled this thing together, the flow of information that was shared, the speakers that graced the stage, the messages that were shared, the environment that was created, the sisterhood that was experienced, it was truly game changing. It was called conference, but I don't even know that that's the right name for it, because when I think of conference, I think coming into a room, speakers on the stage, listening, a little bit of networking, and then you leave, right? This was all of that and so much more. So when we first arrived, I was pleasantly surprised by the sound of steel pan playing and carnival dressed people dancing in the foyer and some people on stilts. It was like, whoa, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. This is a lot of colour. This is a lot of sound. This is a lot of energy as we walked in. And that kind of set the tone for what we were to expect. We went upstairs and they had like a full band playing. And we were, getting warmed up. People were dancing at that time of the morning. So the type of vibe that I very much enjoy. And it was really good because it got us ready to focus and listen in to what was shared. And the thing that I just really noticed was that people were willing to show out, even in the way that they dressed, the way that they were speaking to people, the way that they were confidently expressing who they were and where they were from in a way that I don't often see. And so I immediately was like, okay, this is the environment that we're in. And I think when you put yourself in a room with people who are doing big things in their career and their businesses, it is not only inspiring, but it is truly motivating, because you see people who are the same gender as you, who are the same race as you, who are coming from similar backgrounds to you, and they are doing incredible things. It causes you to really think, if they can do it, why can't I do it? It causes you to think bigger. It causes you to challenge some of the limiting beliefs that you may be holding that are causing you to stay small in the way that you are operating. And, when I'm working with my coaching clients inside of my coaching programs, I help them to notice when they're playing small. I help them to notice the thoughts that are holding them back, the action or inaction that is stopping them from getting what it is that they want. And I can notice it so easily. I can pinpoint it. I can help them to redirect. I can strategize as to how they can overcome. So easy for me to do it for other people. As someone who's been coaching since 2014, it just comes naturally for me to encourage other people and help them to see where their blind spots are. What doesn't come as naturally is me noticing it for myself. So I am very self-aware. However, it is hard to coach myself and notice when I am falling into those negative thought patterns. And so being in a space like this, where there are people that will hold you to account, where you feel somewhat attacked from the stage. And when I say attacked, I mean it in the sense of like, okay, they are totally calling me out on exactly what I've been thinking, exactly what I've been doing. And when you have that with multiple different people speaking over the course of 3 days, it causes you to come away and be like, okay, yes, these are things that I need to recognize. These are things that I need to address. And so the person that I was going into that conference is definitely not the person that I am now. And it was an incredible, incredible experience. And I was sitting here thinking, okay, what would I share with my audience? What would I summarize? Because there's so much that I could say about lessons learned from the conference. But I want to share the ones that I think are most relevant to you as someone who's considering making some kind of change in your career. So, top 3 takeaways. Number 1 is a strong why is the anchor that you need to make bold moves. What was very clear from the different people that had shared their stories, their journeys on the stage, is that each and every one of them had a clear why, a clear reason as to the direction that they were taking or the path that they decided to pursue. If your why is based on other people or other people's opinions or what you think you should do, that often isn't enough for you to follow through and make the bold moves that you want to make. So take the time to ask yourself, why is it that I want to make this change? Why is it that I am targeting whatever it is that you're targeting? And link it to the lifestyle that you want for you and your family. What is that thing that you're pursuing going to do for you? What is it going to do for your family? What impact is it going to make? So oftentimes when we're thinking about, I want to get a promotion, I want to secure a senior role, you can stop there, but the question becomes, why do you want to do that? And sometimes the why is, well, I just want to do it to prove it to myself. Sometimes the why is, well, I want to earn a certain amount of money. And then the question is, why? And then you answer that by, well, if I earn this amount of money, it allows me to fill in the blank, right? There's a really powerful exercise that I guide my clients through in the programs that I run called the 5 Why exercise that helps you to really dig into the root of your motivation to understand, why am I even doing this? And the reason why you want to do that up front is whatever journey you pursue, wherever it is you try and get to, there are going to be bumps along the way. There are going to be challenges along the way. And the thing that prevents you from giving up, the thing that prevents you from throwing in the towel is your why. Knowing why you're doing this, knowing what your ultimate outcome is supposed to be or that you desire it to be, will keep you on track. So if you know that right now where you are is not where you want to be, and you know that there's a change afoot, I want you to really think about why. Why do you want to make that change? What is it going to do for you? What's it going to do for your family? What impact are you going to be able to make because of the change that you're pursuing? So that's number 1. A strong why is the anchor you need to make bold moves. Number 2 is your life can be transformed in as little as a year because of a decision, even less than a year, really. But it all comes down to a decision. The difference between where you are now and where you want to be is a concrete decision. And let me explain. Before you make any moves, plans, actions, you have to make a decision that you're going to do that. And sometimes we decide, or we say we've decided when we really haven't. When I heard the stories of people who had been to the same conference the year prior, and their lives, their businesses, their careers looked very, very different, what became apparent was that they made a decision that they were going to do things differently and that they were going to pursue a path. And off the back of that decision, they were able to take the action that led to the results. So sometimes we make half decisions. Sometimes we're like, yeah, okay, this year's my year. This is the year that I'm going to leave my job that I've been wanting to leave for the last 5 years. This is the year that I'm really going to go for it. We make that decision or set that goal, and then halfway through the year, nothing's happened, nothing's changed. A year later, nothing's happened, nothing's changed. Why? Because you didn't really decide. Because if you decided like truly decided that this is what you were going to do, the actions would follow, right? You would take action that is aligned with the decision that you've made so that you can get the result. So making a decision is about knowing why you're making it, then deciding you're going to do it, and then figuring out, how do I make this happen, right? So it's a decision followed by action that is going to get you to where it is you want to be. Commitment is required. Sometimes we can have all of the information that we need to do what we need to do, but then we don't implement. We can be, there was a amazing quote that someone shared at the conference. It was, you can be education rich, but execution poor. And I was like, ooh, that's a good one. Education rich and execution poor. My guess is that you probably know what it is that you need to be doing, but you're not executing. You know what action you need to take, but you're not taking it. So why? Why are we not executing? And so focusing on the things that are preventing you from executing is key if you want to be moving forward. Third takeaway is success isn't easy, but it's easier in community. Success isn't easy, but it's easier in community. Seeing a group of, I think there was about more than 150 women in that conference, and not everybody knew each other. There's some people who knew each other, maybe like a handful of people who'd been to the conference last year, the people that knew each other from being inside of Liz's community. But there were lots of new people that didn't know each other. So there's a lot of networking, there's a lot of conversation happening. And it was so interesting and encouraging to hear people sharing their stories and offering to help each other and giving each other tips and strategies as to how they can move forward. And the reality is, each and every one of the women in that room are business owners who are essentially building something from nothing. If you are a small business owner, you have had the audacity to have an idea, decide on the why behind your idea, and then pursue it, even though you've not seen it done before. Like, you've not seen yourself do this before, but you're willing to keep pursuing a path based on a vision, right? So people are building things that they've never built before, and they are going in directions that they've never gone before. And the thing that helps people to do that is community. Why? Because you haven't done it before, but when you're able to see other people who have done it, that are able to provide you with a possibility model, it makes it so much easier to stay on the path. So if you have a goal and you see somebody come up and say, I was where you are right now, and I had a similar goal, and I took the action, and I stayed committed, and now I have arrived, so much easier for you to go. So much easier for you to move forward. And this is a big reason why I have run a group coaching program for the last 5 years, supporting women with their career transitions. So often people will come on a call and feel as though this isn't possible for them, and then hear somebody else in the same community with a similar background sharing what they did, where they started, and where they are now. And those conversations, those opportunities of exposure are the things that can help someone to keep going. There's so many circumstances where people have come to a different realization about what's possible for them because they've heard someone else's story, where people have challenged their limiting belief because they've heard someone else's story. So I love running group programs. I've loved running this group program over the last few years, and I'm going to be running one last cohort. We have served so many women across the world through this program. We have helped people secure new roles, phenomenal roles, dream opportunities, move to new levels in their careers, secure 5-figure salary increases, like 10, 20, 30, 40K salary increases, help them to form new friendships, help them to expand their network through this program. And I'm going to be running it one more time because I'm making some shifts in my business, and I will share more about that in the next episode. I'll share more about the decisions that I made off the back of the conference in the next episode. But I did want to let you know that we are opening up the waitlist right now for the September cohort of the program. If you are a woman who wants to pivot into a more meaningful and impactful role while securing a 5-figure salary increase, and you want to be supported by following a proven framework, and you want to be in community with other women who are making a similar transition, despite the fact that their friends, their family, or those around them might say they have a perfect job, I want you to come. I want you to come. I want you to join us inside this last cohort. I'm really excited about it. This is going to be the last cohort. It's going to be a special one. I'm looking forward to supporting the women inside of there and sharing a bit of the behind the scenes of my transition with the women inside the program. As I've been thinking about this next phase of career and business, I've gone through my own framework. I have applied the Career Changemaker framework to myself so that I can make the right decisions. And so I'll talk more about that in the next episode. But if this sounds like something you want to get in on and you understand the power and importance of community, then head over to careerchangemakers.com/waitlist. Get yourself on the waitlist. As you do that, you're going to receive a number of emails over the next few weeks where I'm going to be sharing with you different things that you should be thinking about as you prepare for your career transition, different information, strategies that are going to be helpful for you. So get yourself on the waitlist. So that is what I want to share with you around the conference and the takeaways. I am beyond grateful for the opportunity to go. I'm grateful to myself for saying yes. I travelled from here all the way to Atlanta, and everyone that I met was like, you came all the way from London for this? I'm like, yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yes, I did, because I knew what I was going to be able to take away from this experience and how impactful it was going to be for me. And so I did. I travelled from London. I took 3-4 days out of business and family life to attend this game-changing conference. If you're not getting yourself in community with people who are trying to do what it is that you want to do, or who are already doing what you want to do, then you're missing a trick. Like, you really need to think about how you expanding your networks and how are you putting yourself in the right rooms. And I know if you're an introvert, you might be like, that's not really something I want to do. That's fine. But there's still ways. And we talk about that inside of my program. Like, there's still ways for you to actively network, even if you're not the type of person who wants to go to every conference or every event. So that is what I've got for you today. That's what I wanted to share. Just to recap, here are the 3 top takeaways. And write these down if you have a notepad. Number 1, a strong why is the anchor you need to make bold moves. Number 2, your life can be transformed in as little as a year because of a decision. And number 3, success isn't easy, but it's easier with community. So take those, keep them close, and make sure that you are applying those to wherever you are in your journey. And I hope they help. All right, that's all from me today. I'll be back very, very soon. Until next time, keep moving towards your career goals. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe to the show so that you don't miss any future episodes. Also, I would love to know what your biggest takeaway has been from today's episode. Come over and join us in our Career Changemakers community over on LinkedIn so that you can join the conversation there. Head over to lightbotscoaching.com/community and it will take you right to the group.